everyone, so I'm just discussing what happened yesterday at this assessment I had, which was a complete waste of time, went on and on and on, and basically wasted most of the day and just left me feeling really, really stressed, and was completely unnecessary, and hasn't really achieved anything. Now I've got to wait another couple of weeks to find out what mental health treatment I'm going to get, and there I was thinking that finally I was getting treatment, because as I said, it didn't twig until the end to get it. It was only an initial assessment. I hope, by the way, I don't get this person as a therapist. I don't think I will. I think she was just doing the triage assessment, so I should hopefully get an actual psychologist, because if you ask me, anything less than that just feels like, well, it's just shoddy. You know, I should get good treatment. You know, that should be what I deserve, right? Because after all, I've got really very severe mental health problems. I don't want to get anything less than what I want to get good treatment, you know. Like, if it was a physical problem, you wouldn't settle for less. You'd get the right treatment. Like, if it was a physical problem, you get seen by a specialist. Like, say if you had a heart problem, you wouldn't get seen by someone who specialises in cancer, would you? You know what I mean? You know, you get to see the right person, essentially. So, mental health, you should expect the same. So I need to see someone who specialises in OCD and autism. Anyway, two things that I found really, really offensive and made me pissed off. And my dad's going to actually tell them that they shouldn't have said those things. Because seriously, like, they need to know how offensive it is. Is that, first of all, well, I said to her, I'll never be able to work. This was when basically she was asking me about, like, whether or not I worked and stuff. It's like, have you not read my notes? Clearly not. You know, basically, I'll never be able to work, you know. I'm 36 years old. Unless someone can find a miracle cure for me, good luck trying. It's not going to happen. But you know, before the pandemic, obviously I did some voluntary activities. You know, and I can't do that now because my disability's got a lot worse since the pandemic began. My OCD's got a lot worse. And that's the nature of living with these chronic mental health problems, is that they do wax and wane. But I'm always very disabled. It's just that sometimes, you know, I could do a bit more than at other times, and currently I can't even do any volunteering. I guess you could call this volunteering, doing a YouTube channel. I suppose it's a form of volunteering. Yeah, I mean, I suppose I could call that volunteering. I mean, after all, I'm helping people by doing my videos, so maybe, yeah, I could call it a form of volunteering, I suppose. But you know, yeah, so what I'm trying to say is, so I was explaining to her how, you know, before the pandemic began, I did various volunteering, like at a charity shop, Age UK, and also at an art gallery. I didn't really see how this was relevant to me getting help for my current problems. Like, what relevance has that got to do with my severe OCD right now, my COVID issues? Like, what has that got to do with it? But anyway, yeah, I explained all that. And I said how I use Gatil at Age UK. And previously, by the way, I told her about my severe mathematical learning difficulty. Again, I don't know what relevance that has to do with mental health problems, but she was grilling me about, you know, school and stuff. I wish I had at the time asked her why this was relevant, but I didn't really, I don't know, I just kind of went along with it. When that's happening, I can't always think to ask those questions like, why is this relevant? I wish I had done. But yeah, it came out, you know, about my severe mathematical learning difficulties, because she wanted to know, like, she was asking questions like about school and like stuff like that. So I mentioned my severe mathematical learning difficulties. Now that was picked up very young by teachers and stuff. And then when I, you know, how I failed all my maths qualifications because I can't do like maths and stuff. And then yeah, and then I mentioned using Gatil at Age Care, and then she said, well, you must have some math skill. I was like, bloody hell. I didn't say that, I felt that, I sort of cried inside. It's like, geez man, I really hope this isn't the one I get, because seriously toxic as hell. I again had to explain, you know, me having to explain to an occupational therapist what a modern till actually is. Like maybe she had some idea that it was like those old fashioned tills, which obviously I can't use, you know, the ones where you have to work it all out. Like modern tills is just like a calculator, and I can use a calculator, okay? Modern till is just like a calculator, it's digital, tells you how much money to give, okay? You don't need to do any maths. Yeah, you do some basic counting, like where you hand out the money that it tells you to give out, but I can do that. You know, mathematical learning difficulties affect people in very different ways. Mine is pretty severe, but I can do basic counting, but that doesn't negate the severity of the mathematical learning difficulty. God, disability illiteracy, oh yeah, you could do that, it negates the whole problem. It's like, go back to school, girl. Seriously, oh god, it made me angry. And this has happened before, like, people just don't get it. I've had a support worker before, who's otherwise very nice, who said something along the same lines, like, you really don't get it. I'm not sure whether they're trying to be complimentary or not. Maybe they are trying to be complimentary, but it doesn't come across that way. It just comes across as though they're trying to diminish my disability and everything I've gone through in life. You know, just because I could use a modern day till. It's rote learning. Once I was told how to, it took me a little while to learn how to use it, but it was all written down. I followed the instructions. It's very linear. It plays actually to my strengths, which is repetition and rote memory. No mathematical skills involved. It tells you how much change to give. And when sometimes it was not clear, then I got into all sorts of trouble, and the manager had to be called out often, and the bell had to be rung. So that just shows how I don't have proper math skills. So like, go back to school, girl. Seriously. Didn't understand. So that was the one thing. That was one time I had to explain that. Oh God Almighty. The other thing that really pissed me off, right, is I told her that I'm unemployable, you know, I'll never be able to work because of severity of my issues. And she said, oh, never say never. She said, maybe, you know, one day you could get a job because, you know, you've done some volunteering in the past. Like, bloody hell. Obviously, I didn't say that inside, inwardly crying. At this point, I kind of shut down. I thought, oh my God, she has got no idea. Absolutely no idea. It's like, have you not read my records? Have you not read my notes? Do you not know how severely disabled I am? I mean, what planet are you on? The amount of disability illiteracy out there, I mean, absolute, jeez almighty. It would be like telling someone in a wheelchair who maybe can walk a tiny little way down the street that maybe one day they won't need their wheelchair anymore, and never say never, you might climb Mount Everest. Just because I've done some volunteering in the past, when my disability has allowed it, and my disability is highly unpredictable, so no, I can't do normal work, like paid work, because my disability is so unpredictable. All it takes is a pandemic to like basically destroy all of that anyway. So now I literally can't even can't even go uptown or do anything. I can go, all I can do is just, oh yeah, it's because I said I go out for a walk. Yeah, it's the same old walk every day. And I think she was using all these like little things I can do against me, because that's what they do, these disability illiterate people. They kind of use anything you can do to imply you're not that disabled, and it doesn't work like that, because they literally have no idea about disability. It's absolutely disgusting. They need to go back to school and they need to learn what disability is. Now, just because you can do some things doesn't mean you're not disabled. It's just disgusting, and it really pisses me off so much. It makes me feel really angry, and I hope I'm not going to get her, because she actually had no idea. And this isn't the first and this isn't the only time I've come across these really idiotic people, because that's what they are. They need to go back to school. They just have no idea about disability, and it really is traumatising and really deeply offensive, and I'm still processing it now, and it just makes me really angry, and I shouldn't have to go through all that. I just shouldn't. So my dad's actually complaining about it because it was so offensive, and when I get I'm not fucking taking it anymore, do you know what I mean? I'm not taking it anymore, I'm 36 years old. That social worker I spoke to was also a complete idiot, and it came to disability understanding, but he was rude. This wanted to do affair was actually nice, but it was still offensive. Just the number of times it's happened, it's like eternal recurrence. It's just absolutely absurd, the amount of times people don't get it. I've met a handful of people who genuinely do get it, and they're amazing, by the way. And these are people who are absolutely amazing, who have really true, genuine empathy and just get it. And really are disability literate and understand. But why can't everyone be like that? I mean, it's not like that. I mean, what I mean is, it's so basic. They've no idea. Just no idea. Yeah, it's so black and white. And it's just false hope. You know, I accept the fact I'm never going to be able to work. I will never be able to work. You know, I wish I could work, okay? I'm allowed, you know, I wish I could work. I wish I could go to work like everyone else, okay? It pains me that I can't. But the facts are, it's never going to be possible for me. I accept that. What is possible for me is that maybe one day, once I've hopefully overcome this awful OCD that I currently have, maybe one day I might be able to get out and about again and maybe do some low-level volunteering, like say at an art gallery or something. That is within a realm of possibility. I don't know how long it's going to take for me to get there. This way it could be years. But it's possible because I've done that before when my OCD was a lot better. So that's possible. And that, by the way, I can only do that when I can manage it. And like when I used to do some volunteering at an art gallery, I often couldn't go in because of the nature of my OCD. It's highly unpredictable. If I was really anxious that day, I couldn't go in. You know, so of course I can't maintain a normal job. Do you know what I mean? It's an absolute joke. It's like, basically, where is this miracle cure? You know, maybe there's a miracle cure I don't know about. Cure me of all my problems. By the way, but again, I'll find I don't even have a CV, so you're going to have to start from scratch if there was a miracle cure. But I'm not aware there is such a miracle cure. It's absolutely a joke. All I want is just someone to help me manage my OCD. You know, I'm not asking for miracles, I just want help. And why do I have to go through all these hoops to get it? So yeah, that's what happens. So, thank you for watching.